we are going to record this session, and hope you are all okay with that. If you are not, please take your camera off. First of all, I would like to welcome our invited European Training Foundation invited colleagues. It is very nice to welcome you all on this webinar, and also to welcome all the participants, of course. I will begin to my name is Ana Diaz. I'm leading the European Network for AI Pioneers in this project. I will make a brief presentation of the project, and then I will pass the word to Fabrizio. So I will begin to share my screen and make, I hope, a brief presentation. Just sign me if I'm taking too long. Okay, so maybe some of you already know AI Pioneers project. It's Erasmus forward-looking project of 3 years. We will end the project this year. And we have been working on pioneering activity of teachers and trainers on vocational training and capturing practices. Also, we are a consortium of partners, and we have been working on different, let's say, activities on this. First, one of the first deliverables that we have accomplished is the supplement to the DigiCompEdu framework in terms of AI literacy. This document is available on our website, so I capture your attention on this, and please go to, it is on different languages, the project languages, so you can look at this element that will bring knowledge around these concepts of the DigiCompEdu framework for adding AI subjects. Then we have in our website also a number of technologies that are available and that you can work on and see examples, see some case studies, and from there you can reach a number of practices for creating training materials or for quizzes and evaluation, etc. Many different technologies that are up to date within our website. The third big result that we have produced within the project is the evaluation schema. This is evaluation schema for AI in education, and we have here a number of contents that were produced also and that are also in different languages, in Portuguese, German, Spanish, Greek, and so you can use this in the different languages, the full document, let's say. So focusing on assessing the AI maturity and related AI ethicals, the pedagogical considerations, governance. So I take your attention to these results that are something that we produce very carefully. Besides, we have this European reference network of AI pioneers, and we are supporting a sustainable development and putting together people that are working on these topics of AI in education and training, especially focus on vocational education and training. So we are inviting different organizations to our webinars. Every 6 months we have been doing webinars, and this has been something that is going on for a long time. So this time we have here our colleagues from European Training Foundation. Just a last note or two last notes. We are going to be present at Eden with our project Action Lab, a workshop that we are organizing there about our results, especially related to the schema, evaluation schema. And our final conference will be in Bremen. So you are all welcome to go to our website and register. It is face-to-face in the beautiful city of Bremen, and with our coordinating ITB coordinator from University of Bremen. So you are invited to come. And finally, within our project, we have a blog that is very, very active. So please go to the blog. We have thousands of news and thousands of good contents for anyone that is dealing with AI in education and training. So for me now, it's all. I will pass the word to Fabrizio Nascimbeni, and he will lead now and speak about the club, the new learning club on teaching with AI. Thank you, Fabrizio. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Anna, and thank you also for the invitation on behalf of the club and its members. Let me quickly share my screen as well. Okay, so basically a bit of the history a bit of history regarding this. You can see, right?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. So basically, the genesis of this webinar is very simple. We happened we learned about the AI pioneers, and we learned that we actually sharing the same mission, that is to foster knowledge exchange and build community around the use of AI in education, specifically in vocational training, but also beyond. Let's say we all work in a, I would say, lifelong learning perspective. And so we got in touch and we said, why not having a moment where we can tell your community what we are doing, and then we're going to have possibly another moment where you're going to be doing the same, either through webinars or maybe in some of the events that you were mentioning. Today I'm going to quickly present you what the club is, and then I'm going to give the floor to my colleagues from STEPS, who will present you quickly the main outcome of the club, which is a sort of a guide on AI literacies for teacher, which has been developed by the members of the club, sort of spontaneously. And then we would like to expose you to a typical discussion of the club. So actually I asked four of the past speakers of our webinars and events to join me here. Actually, 4 out of 4 accepted. So thank you very much to Laura, Mahmoud, Ariana, and Alessandro. I will introduce them later. But the idea is to have here a quick panel on around some questions that we are, let's say, using at the moment to structure the club discussions and the club work. Okay, very briefly, I'm speaking and I'm working in the European Training Foundation. I don't know how many of you know us. We are a EU agency working in the partners around in the countries around Europe, so in the European neighborhood, trying to help these countries to reform and innovate their, in this case, vocational training systems. A lot of our work deals with innovation, a lot of our work deals with digitalization, and of course, every time we talk about digital today, you cannot escape talking about AI. And in this specific case, among the different activities we do, we support what we call a community of innovative educators. That is a general group of educators from everywhere, from our partner countries, but also from other countries. I will show you the link later on. And within this community that counts with more than 1,600 members, so it's rather large and with a lot of thematics, I would say the most successful theme is, no surprise, AI, and specifically teaching with AI. So we launched this new learning club, this, let's say, smaller group of innovators working with AI in June last year. We have more than 350 members from 50 countries, so it's a rather active and I would say even growing group. We have some content leaders, you can see them there, from Turkey and from Ukraine, some members of the community who took the leadership from a content point of view. We have my colleague Alessandro Brolpito, who is leading this specific work, while I'm leading on the overall community of innovative educators. And this is, let me show you what we are more or less doing in this community. We started by identifying the challenges, talking to educators, teachers and trainers, what are the main issues in terms of working with AI in the classroom, on the workplace, in their daily work. Out of the challenges, we identified a few needs, and through these needs, we produced the outcome that Roberto will be presenting to you in a moment. Actually, the beauty of the club is that it is not just a place to talk, but it's a place to work a bit, of course, voluntarily. But for example, the tool that Roberto will show you, the outcome, the famous outcome, was designed in terms of need and produced in terms of content by the members of the club. So we from the ETF didn't do anything apart from organizing some exchanges. So big thank you to the contributors. Then out of the needs, we extract the questions, of course, the remaining questions, and I will then explicit some of these during the panel. We try to answer to these questions not only through discussions, but also through practices and tools. And then starting from these practices, we discuss what should be improved, and then we go back to the challenges. And this should have been just one cycle, but the club was so successful in terms of participation that we decided this year to give it another go. So we're going to go for 9 more months of this process. Now, I will now give the floor to my colleague Roberto, who will basically explain to you what what some of the educators have been doing, have been co-producing, responding to actually their need. So imagine a community that is getting together for the first time, digesting a lot of information that our experts were providing, and then decide, okay, what we need is, in this case, a specific outcome, which is based, as you can see here, on real life practices. So if you scan these QR codes, you can find both the tool, the inspirational resources to foster researchers' competencies, and the collection of teachers-led AI practices. And this is the tool. So I will now leave the floor to Roberto to show you what actually the club has been doing, what the teachers of the club, the members of the club have been producing in the first, I would say, 8 months of work. Before passing the floor to Roberto, I don't know if there are any questions. Feel free to ask me if something was not clear. I try to go very fast just to allow more time later for the real protagonist of our work, that are the members of the community. So if there are no questions, Roberto, I can give you the floor and the screen.
Thank you, Fabio. And I apologize, first of all, because I am in a noisy place. So I hope that everything will be fine from the audio point of view. My name is Roberto Righi. I work for STEPS, a research center based in Bologna, dealing with innovative teaching and learning. And we are supporting ETF in the management of the community of innovative educators in the last 4 years, and of course in the implementation of the new learning clubs. We were involved in the facilitation and in the animation of the AI club. We organized online meetings and webinars, and finally we were involved in the design of the guide that I'm presenting to you today. Now I'm sharing the screen so you can see it.
Good.
And here it is. Okay. So this is the document that we titled Unlocking AI in Education, a Teacher's Guide to AI Literacy. And I think it's important to explain the process. So how did we arrive to this final outcome? This is a result of a long co-creation process of a teamwork that work basically involving 2 main groups of people. The first one composed of content leaders and club members. Content leaders were basically responsible for the ideation of the structure, provision of content. Members contributed a lot by sending resources, learning resources, practices, examples, and this was very important. Then there was a technical team responsible for bridging the content with technology. So which kind of idea we had? Integrating the AI in the design of the final outcome. So since we were talking about artificial intelligence in education, we said, why don't using AI to produce the document? So we developed this guide in form of an interactive and visually appealing tool instead of a simple text document. This is the idea. So we use this app called Gamma.app. This is not like ChatGPT that is being used for content creation of content. This is more for creation of user-friendly tool, editing the text, creating visuals without any coding or design skills required. So we were very happy about this kind of instrument. And what the guide is about artificial intelligence and integration of artificial intelligence. So not only theory, but a real life practice. As Fabio was saying, we have many members. Last year we had 350 members. I think now we are around 400 members in the club from more than 40 countries. And everybody was contributing together. And I'm sharing the link right now. So I'm answering also this question. You can find it in this blog post, and there is a direct link to this Gamma app. And so the group of people was international, educational experts, and so on, teachers, and we had the main aim, the main objective to help educators to use generative AI tools to create new learning opportunities.
I don't hear Roberto. Is it me or?
Yes, there is no sound.
There seems to be no sound.
Try again.
Now it works.
And so you can, of course, take a look at the guide since you have the link now, but I can scroll it quite quickly. Who, what, and how explains more or less the introduction. So what is about? There's a short story about artificial intelligence and how to use it in data before, with a special focus on the teachers. So content development, assessment, and evaluation.
Roberto, the voice has gone again.
I'm sorry.
Better.
And so I go more quickly. This is very interesting because we explain here how to embed AI in the classroom and school with 6 steps. For example, this is the kind of SWOT analysis, assessment of readiness, and so on, and planning and implementation. This is another chapter about the challenges that were identified by the club members. We were used to interact a lot with our participants, and as you can see here, they were voting as the most important challenges, effectively integration of AI in the lesson, empowerment of teachers, too dependent on AI. So taking a look at the dark side of the possible AI use. This is about the teacher competencies using the UNESCO framework. And this is the resources and the practices mentioned by Fabio before. So here, if you click here, you will begin the file.
Robbie, your voice went away again. We don't hear you.
can hear me now, but
Yes,
I'm
now we can.
finalizing. So these are the lessons learned.
Sorry, Robbie, we cannot hear you, but maybe I can take it from here. Yes, you were showing the last part of the guide with the people who contributed and everything. I think here the important thing, Roberto, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the guide is a live document. So at the end of the guide, when you saw resources and practices, this is bringing to a mini database of resources and the mini database of practices that we are keeping on collecting through the QR codes that I was showing you before. And actually, let's say again, the guide the idea there is really to make things like the UNESCO framework, competency frameworks digestible for teachers. So you don't start with these are the competences that you must acquire, but we try to start with a bit more narrative on why and how to use AI, what are the pitfalls and so on, some use cases. And that's we try to, let's say, make it a bit more digestible, especially for novice teachers. And let's say until now, the guide has been, it exists in English. It is released with an open license, so it is available for translation. Other outcomes of other clubs that we run are being translated into other languages spontaneously. We have a club on STEM education, and the outcome has been translated into Georgian, and other languages are coming. So feel free in case you want to take part of this and use it, or even translate it, or let's say criticize it or improve it. Feel free, you can do precisely anything you want with it.
Yes,
Roberto,
thank you.
sorry, you got back the voice.
No, thank you for helping me. And if you want to add your practices and resources, you will find here a Google form that you can fill in. Thank you for your attention, and sorry again for my audio.
No worry, no worry. Actually, the outcome is just an exemplification of what our clubs are doing. So basically, we have educators, teachers, trainers, experts, researchers working together on, let's say, with a bit of work each, since again, this is all peer learning and voluntary work to present their practices. And what we do, we try to package and to make it useful for others. Now, Roberto, you share the link. Feel free to ask questions if you want in the chat. Also to of course, the colleagues of AI Pioneers, since this is your bread and butter. So feel free to also, if you have ideas on how this tool could be further improved for better uptake and use, we are here to help. But now I would like to let's say, exemplify a typical discussion of the club. As I was saying before, we have with us four special members of the club. I don't know if Laura is with us. Laura from Trainisi, I don't know if you are with us, but Laura should be connecting from Vietnam, so I don't know, maybe she didn't make it. So if we don't have Laura, we still have three. And this is, let's say, I will be typically in this moment of the club, we are really working through questions. So we are collecting questions, sometimes also difficult questions from our, let me show you here, from our educators. And then we typically have webinars where we ask experts and practitioners, people who are really working every day with AI, to try to answer to these questions. And today we'll try to do the same. We have here four members of our community and past speakers. We have, I will briefly introduce them. You will see they are very much coming from different backgrounds. I hope Laura Fan will join us soon. She will be representing Trainisi, that is a company from Vietnam, which developed a very interesting AI-based tool to develop actually vet content for many sectors. Then we have with us Mahmoud Mohammad Ahmadeh from Al-Quds Open University from Palestine, a teacher and a researcher from the Lifelong Learning and Continuing Education Center. So we are talking about higher vet, but still very applied. And thank you, Mahmoud, for being with us. Mahmoud recently wrote a book specifically on the use of AI in this in teaching in specific fields. We have an educator and a teacher training expert, Ariana Blasic from Croatia. And finally, Alessandro Iannella, a researcher from Italy, belonging to different research groups, working on AI and AI in and for teaching. Now, the idea is to ask the same question very briefly and being very telegraphic to these experts, these practitioners. And in the meantime, I would like to ask you, the participants, please to try to respond to these questions as well through the chat with one sentence. The idea is to be very brief, so that you will see the questions are not technical, and let's see if we can get to some, I would say, consensus, or at least some points of convergence. Mahmoud, Ariana, Alessandro, you are there. I think, I don't know if I
Yes,
can...
we are here.
Yeah.
Okay, good, perfect. So, first question, I would like to start with Ariana, ladies first. So the first question is the following. If you think about a classroom or a learning environment, even on the job training, but think about the classroom in 5 years from now, so 2030, how much AI do you see in the teaching process and in the assessment process? Now, today you have some experiments, but in 5 years from now, 3 years ago, we almost did not even have ChatGPT. Now we have hundreds and hundreds of tools. So imagine in 5 years from now, how much AI do you see in the daily practice of a vocational training or a professional development training moment? Ariana, please.
Thank you, Fabio, and hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here with you today. And indeed, this is really, really a very difficult question because it's so difficult to predict what will happen in, only 5 years' time, considering what has happened over the past 2.5 years. But when I think about it, I would like to see more AI. I'm an AI enthusiast, I like exploring tools, and I believe that we have to be cautious, but we can use them in the classroom. And so I would like to see more of it in teaching, learning, and assessment. For teachers, it would mean that they have these reliable tools that can help them with assessment. So, but also this means that AI is kind of explainable, transparent, that we know and that we can justify the decision AI makes. For students, I would like to have AI that is really their intelligent tutor, that is there for them 24 hours every day, that recommends really, really practical, good resources. We are not there yet, but maybe in 5 years' time, considering all these developments, rapid developments, I hope we will be. And maybe just one last thing, when it comes to tools, I would like to see that every teacher has an AI translator helper, which will help them translate any type of media, video, text, image, and so on. And you might say, but already we have it. But I would like to think about minor languages, so that every learner who speaks any language, minor language, has access to high quality translations. So this is briefly from me.
Thank you very much. So more AI in the classroom with a specific attention to translation for minority languages, which I think is very important. Actually, what we have now doesn't work so well, you're right, for minority languages. Okay, we move to Palestine now. Dear Mahmoud, you just wrote a very interesting book and you reflected a lot on these issues. So how do you see, how much AI in your classroom in 5 years from now?
Yeah, thank you, Fabio. Thank you for this opportunity and for having me in this very important webinar. And also thank you for this question. I believe that within 5 years, AI will be a regular part of the learning experience, almost as common as a school book or an internet connection. So AI will be used widely in both teaching and assessment. We already, seeing strong signs of this transformation today. For example, we use it for lesson design and planning. Many teachers around the world already use AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, DeepSeek, Magic School to generate lesson plan, design quizzes, and create grading rubrics. There's a survey conducted by Education Week magazine in 2023 found that over 50 of US teachers has used ChatGPT in some way to support classroom. And I think this number already has been increased from 2023 until now. Also for tutoring and support tools like, for example, Canmigo, which is an assessment from Khan Academy, which is powered by GPT-4, act as a personal tutor for students. They help learners solve math problems, understanding science topics, and practice writing. In fact, Canmigo has been rated higher than ChatGPT for educational interaction by Cut the SAS in 2024. Also, I think will be used more in personalized learning. AI systems adapt to each learner's pace and need. For example, a platform like Sincerity in the UK or Scholar AI in China track how each student performs and offer clear lessons or activity. So I think in low resources setting, this could help bridge learning gaps. As a researcher from ifsc.com shows that AI tools can scale up learning in areas within limited teacher access. Also for teaching and feedback, AI is expected to handle many of routine grading tasks in the classroom. For example, AI tools that can read and score student essays are now advanced enough to give feedback that is very close to what a human teacher would provide. At Georgia Tech University, an assessment named Jill Watson, I think, was used in online courses. This AI tool was able to answer 97% of student questions, such as clarifying assignment or explanation course policies. This saved the human teachers a lot of time, allows them to focus more on helping students with deeper, more complex learning needs. Another strong example comes from Georgia State University, where an AI chatbot called Bonus was introduced to help students with common problems like how to register for classes, apply for financial aid, or stay on top of deadlines. This AI assistant helped reduce the number of students who dropped out by 22% simply by answering their questions at the right time. Also, I think AI in the future will be used more in global reach and inclusion. AI has the potential to support students everywhere, not just in well-connected or well-funded schools. In regions affected by conflict or limited infrastructure, such as Gaza, AI enhanced learning platform, which has been developed by incorporation with UNESCO to provide localization and offline education content. These tools are especially important during time of crisis. To summarize, and in my opinion, by 2030, AI will be acted like a full-time assistant in the classroom, giving students personalized feedback and helping teachers focus more in mentorship and creativity, especially in places where education is disrupted, like Gaza or rural areas. Thank you.
Thank you, Mahmoud. Also a very positive, I would say, take on this. So AI is common as books and as the internet. I like this. It's like really becoming a commodity, let's say. But of course, I also appreciated the way you hinted at the possible critical steps. Alessandro, you are
Hi.
looking at these critical steps, critical aspects a lot, and also what was before mentioned as the dark side, or in any case, the problem. So, how do you see how much AI in a daily lesson in 2030?
Thank you, Fabio, for this question, and hello, everyone. So, considering how this technology evolving fast, it's difficult to answer this question, but for sure, we will see more AI in schools than now. I hope in supporting and not in replacing. For example, in supporting teachers in their proactive and interactive tasks, but also in providing students feedback and also make them able to acquire a sort of strategic behavior in study, so in supporting the learning process. And I believe that whatever its presence might be, teachers and more in general educators will always have to validate AI use, especially in the case of generative AI, because when we interact with this technology, we have to manage uncertainty. This is because this technology doesn't have an authority, but it is by nature intrinsically uncertain, stochastic, probabilistic. So it produces what seems believable, but not what is true. So we have to maintain our human agency when we interact with it and control the entire process of interaction and use in our schools.
Which is actually what Rolly is also saying in the chat, that how much, let's say, AI tools will be deeply embedded in professional development and vocational systems, but how much actually filters through to the practice will depend on educators' mindset. So at the end of the day, as you said, educators should be in the driving seat in any case. Okay, thank you very much. Feel free in the meantime for the others to post other questions, to post other answers on, especially I would like to hear if some of you think that there will be not so much AI, because many technologies came with very, very high promises and big hype at the beginning, but then at the end of the day, if you think of the self-driving cars 5 or 6 years ago or 10 years ago, it was like, okay, it's coming for sure. Now I haven't seen one, at least on my road. So it's actually, of course, AI is there, but most probably will be, let's say, will become again a technological commodity. So will most probably be invisible, but at the same time, the dangers and the challenges will remain. So thank you for pointing to the importance also of course of educators. A second question, since we spoke about educators, we have been telling for many years that the educator role, thanks to the help of technology, should move from a teacher in the sense of somebody, transmitting knowledge to a facilitator. This is and to an orchestrator. Many years we have been hearing that. And now with AI, we might have a strong push. So the question would be, how will the educator role will be different in this scenario that you have been depicting with respect to now? And especially think about the need to guarantee inclusion and equity, because of course, it's clear that the potential impact is very high, but the potential impact should be for really every single student. So how will the educator role have to change, especially keeping in mind the need to guarantee equal access and let's say an inclusive teaching and learning process? Let's start from Alessandro this time. We go backward. Alessandro, please.
Yeah, I think that it is obvious that AI may automate some tasks, but inclusion and equity cannot be automated. So the risk is that AI tools designed to support and to adapt to learners may reinforce biases or overlook also students who need more support. So educators' role won't change in this situation. They will always need to understand and to protect the educational space, and this means keeping this space fair, open, human, and as I said before, based on trust.
Okay, so let me quote you. Inclusion cannot be automated, will be possibly my new tattoo. It's really the sentence in
Fine.
one. Thank you. But then you said that actually the teacher's role will not change as so much. Let me hear. So Ariana, you deal with teachers every day. You know, you work a lot with teachers. What's your perception in as far as the role of teachers and actually, you know, their also self-perception? What do you think?
Well, I think that even now, the teacher is not only teaching. There are so many roles that teachers had to take up with when we started using digital technologies. And now with artificial intelligence, even more so, it is important that the teacher is the learning designer, but also data manager. For example, for me, I think it would be very important for professional development and lifelong learning of teachers to learn how to use data, how to interpret data, how to use data, implement the learnings or the findings from data to support teaching, to help learners improve and progress. And when it comes to inclusion and diversity, I would like to mention that I'm very happy that in this resource that Roberto showed a little bit earlier about unlocking AI, there is also one of my projects called Diverse, which was focused on inclusion and diversity. And in this project, we experimented teachers from 3 schools how AI tools can enhance inclusion and diversity. And together we developed an AI framework, which is also in the resources pack. And so you can see there are a lot of there is a lot of experimentation to see if it works and how it works. And I think this helps teachers to become better at using AI tools. And I think I'm always positive, okay, about AI. That's my problem, but I'm also cautious. But here I also see how AI can help me with tasks that would be otherwise very time consuming, So if I have 30 different students in my classroom and I can't prepare 30 different activities for each and every one of them, but with AI, I can do it very easily. So let's say if based on my students' interest, I can prepare 30 different activities for 30 different students and their interests. And I think this is something that is very helpful. And that's one of the reasons why teachers will not so easily let go of AI. But of course, to use AI, they have to learn how to use it properly, and we are all learning. We are not I can't say that I am an expert in it, even though I know a lot of tools and how to use them in pedagogically sound way, but still it takes a lot of professional development and learning.
That is the third question. Don't spoil the last question.
Okay, sorry.
No, I'm joking. Thank you very much. So teachers as data manager, that's also a very interesting concept. It's something I don't know how many teachers would consider themselves as data manager today, but interesting. Mahmoud, I think you are leading a department in an online university, right? So I think
Yes.
teachers, your educators already have a bit of a different mindset. So they're used to teach online in open settings, as an open university. But still, how do you think this will change? And especially, how do you think they can keep the inclusivity with this new role? I mean, new roles and new processes, please. Try to be brief. I'm asking, sorry, I forgot to tell you, because I would like to have the last question and then give the floor also to the
Yeah, thank you, Fabio. Thank you, Fabio. I agree with my colleagues about the role of the teacher that I think there will be change with the AI. I think, AI become more common, so the teacher role will become more human, not less, for example. In an AI supported classroom, teacher will no longer just deliver knowledge. They will be facilitate learning, build community, and let me say protect fairness. So the key role of the teacher will be changed. As I said, will be facilitators, not just a lecture. Teacher will organize discussion, group of projects and real world challenges. Also will take care of the repetitive tasks like grading and tracking. Also, there will be like they said he will be managing data, or we will call it interpreters of data. Teacher will read data, read the dashboard and report generated by AI system to understand who is struggling and why. For example, if AI shows that many students missed by a key science concept, the teacher can organize a hands-on experiment or a group activity to re-teach it. Also, there will be campaigns of inclusion. Teacher must ensure that AI serve all students, not just it means the technical person or privileged ones. This include adapting content for students with disabilities or, for example, low digital access, for example, in rural area or in the area where the conflict. Also, the teacher will be like the ethical guides. Teacher will help students use AI responsibly. And this is the book what I already released about digital citizenship and AI. So teacher will help students use AI responsibly. This include teaching students how to recognize AI errors, respect privacy, and avoid misuse for this thing. So while AI will change the classroom, it is the teacher who ensure that no students is left behind. Their role will be shift from being the source of information to being the heart of fair and ethical learning environment.
Thank you. So you're putting even more meat on the grill. I mean, teacher as an ethical guide, teacher as also as what was said before by Ariana, teacher also as a guide towards the tools, because we know, I mean, every second week we have a new tool that seems to be revolutionizing the thing, but then you use it and it's not too different from the previous one, or maybe it is. You need time to experiment. Okay, so many new, I would say, pressure on the educators. And I think at the end of the day, educators, I mean, are already under pressure. They were already under pressure much before the advent of AI. Now, to me, the the general mantra should be to use AI not to put more pressure and not to put more roles on the teacher, but at the same time, of course, on one side you can save some time for routinary tasks, but on the other side you are putting heavy tasks. An ethical guide, in this world means a lot of things. So the question is, okay, we sort of agree, it seems, that AI will be definitely present. The teachers still will have to be good teachers, but will have to take up new roles. Now, the question for me, to the three of you and also to the public is, so teachers will need new competencies, and which are these new competencies, and how they should be acquiring them? We know that teacher professional development is not working so well in many contexts, this we can say. Now, we have teachers already having difficulties in coping with normal technology, I would say. We have now this wave of new technology, generative technology, a new concept of knowledge generation itself. And at the same time, we need to build these capacities. So we have UNESCO and all the many universities and companies, including OpenAI and Microsoft, that have they are coming with courses. This is the perfect course for you to become proficient with AI in the classroom. Okay, is that enough? Should we think of something else? How valuable are, for example, these peer learning communities like the AI pioneers, like our club and many others that exist? So apart from the new competencies, I think what are these new competencies? More or less, we know these AI literacies. My question is, can we think of a bright new idea on how these new competencies should be developed in time of AI? You also may be using AI, because to me, adding, asking for more roles and, putting more pressure on the teachers and on the teacher professional development risks to be, not to create that trust that is needed and that love that is needed for this technology that appears from Mariana's word, this trust and the positive feeling, but risks to, make AI look like a new problem or a new burden. So about the how, let's start with Mahmoud. What do you think? Is there a bright idea that through which we could probably or maybe start developing these competencies?
Yes, Fabio. I think let me start with the key that competencies that the teacher need. I think if we want to use the AI in education effectively and fairly, we must first empower our teacher with the right skills and support. And I believe teachers need not only the technical skills, they need also the soft skills to be successful in the classroom with the AI. So the teacher need to must understand the AI, what we call it AI literacy. Also, the data literacy. So teacher must be able to read the student progress dashboard and reporting for platform and all of this thing. Also, the teacher must have the skills about the digital ethics and critical thinking. And also, we have another skill that the teacher must have. We call it AI integrated pedagogy. So educator will design new types of lessons. So like using AI to simulate historical debate or analysis the literature or support language learning. So they need a new kind of pedagogy to design the learning lesson or the learning content. So how can teacher have these skills? The first thing we have, the ministry and school must offer short courses, certification like Magic School certification and on workshops. Also, we must provide students with peer learning and support. So teacher can, learn from the local AI teaching clubs like ETF Community Club of AI in Education. So if we want AI to improve education, we must start by supporting teacher, not just with technology, but with training, ethics, and collaboration. Only then we can make training both smart and fair.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Plenty of good ideas. We go now to Alessandro. Any bright idea on how?
Just to explain better what I was saying before, when I said when I spoke about the educator role that doesn't have to change. I believe that the educator role has always been an holistic one. So for this reason, it shouldn't and cannot change. When we are in schools, we teach what we are and not what we know. So teachers now need to not to acquire something, but to maintain, to make stronger their content level, their pedagogical, their contextual and technological skills, as long as their critical thinking skills. And coming to your question, today public training and institutional support are really important, are essential to support teachers' AI competencies, and this is because a lot of AI technologies, in particular generative AI technologies, are primarily commercial and they are not open, they are not public or governative. So we need to have a public dialogue and a common approach to build some public AI technology. And so I really hope that international frameworks and also the documentation, the supplement, and the resources we have produced, as long as the certification which is under process will be applied with a sort of shared and common perspective.
Thank you. Thank you very much for mentioning the need for public and open approaches. I think it's actually the elephant in the room. I mean, we need probably just a public investment and a strong effort in that sense. That's a very good point. Ariana, last call
Yes.
for ideas.
Yes, thank you, Fabio. So I would say that, students use AI. They are using it in the classroom, not only in vocational school, but also in primary schools. And so this should be some kind of motivation for teachers to be learners as well. And once again, I would like to emphasize how important is lifelong learning. And we have heard from Alessandro and also from Mohammed all these resources where we can learn about new developments. I would also like to mention the importance of sharing. So it's not only learning, having the opportunity to learn, but also having the opportunity to share with your colleagues, with your professional network, what you have learned maybe in another network. Maybe also mention here the European Digital Education Hub, of which I am a member, where I really go there to learn, but not only to learn, to participate in different squads, as they call them. And one of the publications that I helped to write, and some of my colleagues are also here in this webinar, was about explainable AI. So how important it is to understand what kind of decisions AI makes and how important this is for teachers, school leaders, and also other educational developers. So learning, and also I would say learning how to collaborate with AI. Maybe this is something that I find really important for me as a teacher, how to move forward and not to be left behind.
The learn and share approach. I think it's very important. Okay, so 4 o'clock. Well, first of all, thank you very much, Ariana, Alessandra, and Mahmoud, for your ideas. This was, as you see,
Thank you, Fabio.
very spontaneous and
Thank you.
informal. That's how we like it in our club. I see now also Tatiana from Ukraine, Tatiana Nanayeva, one of the leaders from our club, is here. So Tatiana, all the other leaders had the commitments today, so they couldn't make it, but it's great to see you are here. Tatiana, maybe if you want to say something in the closing. But before giving you the floor, I would like to ask to the AI Pioneers colleagues, now that you heard a bit, how we like it in the club and how we work, any comment or any idea, something that we could do better, something that we could do together, maybe not necessarily now, but if you have any idea, feel free to share it. I don't know. I know some of you are big fans, for example, of open and public. I look at Graham direction. I don't know if something has excited your mind, feel free to comment. I think we can take 2 more minutes.
Never short of something to say, and an audience to say it to. Look, I think one of the big issues, and it's going to come up, and you've raised it actually, public services, AI available. We can't go on developing this with these large American corporations leading it. So I think one of the key priorities for the next year or two is going to be working out a way of developing that public sphere for AI. At the moment, my colleague George isn't here because he's busy writing a funding bid this week on actually how we can develop open source AI, which isn't owned by large companies, and how, not in our bid list, but this is second phase, how can the EU support a physical infrastructure for AI development in education? And that's not happened so far. And I think that's really important, both those issues, open source technologies and an AI infrastructure. And I think that's where we should be moving our various groups, like the Hub, like your club, like AI Pioneers. I think we should be moving into those issues.
Yeah, especially using the leverage of education where, everything should be free by definition. So, I'm not saying for everything. I think we will never be able to ban commercial companies, unfortunately, but at least for some spheres like education, I think we should really, advocate for that. I think it would make sense if we could shape maybe a joint message. Why not? It's if this would be I think there is a bit of a also advocacy and learning to be made among educators, because it's not obvious to get these things right from the very beginning, to understand the debate and to understand the politics behind this. Educators are typically experts in their subjects, and good educators do already a big service to society without having to enter into all the politics of AI. But I think that's an important point. Thank you very much. Let's think about this. We could think of a one-page manifesto, something that could say, okay, this is the way we think things should be moving. Good point. I'm tempted to ask Tatiana, totally improvising. That wasn't was the meeting on behalf of our leaders and ambassadors of the community. Can I, Tatiana?
Yeah. Thank you so much. And it's such a pleasure to listen to the speakers and to everyone participating here. Just listening to you, I was thinking of the value of the community. And the community actually doesn't only bring you knowledge, because now with AI and all these search engines and different kind of opportunities, we may find any information possible, right? Without community. But what can community bring to, what value can it add to the educators? And thinking about this, just an idea of Socrates, the Greek philosopher, came to me regarding sometimes we know what we know, and sometimes we don't know what we don't know, and therefore we are not searching for it, we are not looking for it. Therefore, this community may add value with some ideas which you don't know that you don't know. And what is more, this is contextualization of knowledge, because you may find any information, but in what context it may be used. And this sharing practices, sharing how it works what works, what doesn't work, it's also very valuable for the community. And therefore, I think we need to expand and keep on working in the community to bring even more value to our participants so that they will better use the AI in their in different contexts. For example, an idea from the community now comes that those who deal with teacher professional development, they are interested how to assess IT literacy, how to assess teachers' literacy so that better prepare for teacher professional development to create their curriculums. And I think, I don't know, Fabio, maybe you're aware, Selfie for Teachers, it provides the feedback for teachers on their digital competence. Does it require AI knowledge or not yet? Maybe it should be added there.
It should be, absolutely. I think actually the AI pioneers who have been working on DigiComp and DigiComp Edu supplement, but yeah, then this could be, let's say, connected to Selfie as a tool that is developed on DigiComp Edu Selfie for Teacher. Yeah, good point. Absolutely. I don't think it is there now.
So, yeah. Therefore, I really appreciate all the participation in different communities because we do add value to each other and provide and pioneer new ideas. Thank you for
Thank you, and
the opportunity of this little intervention.
for closing with the word pioneers. Actually, I just wanted also to say that your project is called AI Pioneers, and to the members of our club, the ones who contribute to the outcome, we give an open badge to be a community pioneers. So we have the same, we are using the same slang since the very beginning. And thank you also, Rolly, for all your comments, very important, and to all of you. Well, thank you, Tatiana. Thank you, Roberto. Thank you, Ariana. Thank you, Alessandro. And thank you, Mahmoud. And floor is back. I don't know to
me, Anna.
Please. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much for all your inputs. I think we must create more links between our two organizations and just take a note on pioneers word, because pioneers, in our sense in the project, it's also in terms of DigComp Edu pioneering. So it is a level where you can produce content, explain, and make more innovators coming out from their local rooms, local teaching places, and come out to these groups that we are creating within AI Pioneers and your club. So thank you very much in the name of our project. I don't know if Lisa wants to say something before we close. Lisa?
Yes, thank you all very much for this very interesting workshop or webinar today. I think we had a lot of different views and perspectives on the topic, a lot of messages in the chat. So I'm very happy that we have this recording of this event right now and can spread it afterwards as well, so that many people can catch up on the discussions we had today. So thank you all very much for the participation and all of the efforts for this webinar. Yes.
Thank you. We will keep it in touch for new webinars and also for new links. If anyone in this room has something to come to us, you can come to us via our LinkedIn network or our AI Pioneers project website. So thank you very much and see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.